Hi everybody, so today I've got another new release from Dior, one of my absolute favourite products by Dior. I loved this last year when it launched, so much so that I bought all the shades, and ever since they've launched new shades I've bought those too, and now there are 3 more shades. These two are particularly deep, so I'm hoping for my skin tone these could be a really nice glowy blush, which is exactly how I'm going to try them on to see today. And I'm also going to try this one, which is definitely not a glowy blush. This one is definitely a pink highlight luminizer. So I'm going to finish my look by taking these off and putting on a powder blush and using this as my highlight topper. So we're going to see all 3 of the new shades. I've also got the new eyeshadow palette from Viseart. This is the all matte palette, the Paris Matte Étendu VISEPRO. And this for me, I'm so glad I got my hands on this because this is a cool tone dream palette to have in your collection, in my opinion. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm a massive fan of Viseart matte formulas. And having something like this, I think it could just about give me everything I could possibly need for any sort of look. So I'm really excited to try this. So I'm going to try a look with this, but I'm also going to show you the exact way that I am most likely to use it and why it'll be so handy for me. I've also picked up another shade from the Nudes collection from Dior, the Nudes and Roses I think it was called. So I've picked up another one of the pinks. I couldn't resist when I put this order in, so I'll be trying that lipstick on today. So lots of nice new things to try. I'm really excited to get all of these different colours on my face and see how they work together. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, just somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel I do upload very regularly, at least twice a week if not more, and I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this, please do hit the subscribe button. It really does help my channel so very much. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back, and I appreciate you being here very much. And my skin tone for matching up with all of these colours, I've got fair to light skin with neutral / cool, mostly cool undertones, and I've got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me, let's get straight into this review. So this is my second order with Dior in the sort of last 3 to 4 weeks. The last one was a much bigger order, I spent a lot more money. This one I've spent a lot less, but I still got this incredibly beautiful box. Dior just never seems to stop surprising me with the fabulousness of their packaging and their gifts, because they also gave me a gift in a separate box. My actual purchases were in this box, and they sent me a separate box with this little gift bag. So I say gift bag, it's more of a travel bag, isn't it? But how cute is that? I love it. It's just adorable. And they also sent 3 minis. I think they had some sort of offer. If you spend £80, you get the 3 minis. I think that's right. So these are my 3 adorable minis. So I've got so many of these now. I get these a lot from Dior. This is the Miss Dior perfume in a mini. This is so good if you're traveling for maybe 1 or 2 days away. This is perfect. And especially if, like me, I have a trip coming up where I'll be taking my carry-on luggage on, and you've got that liquid limitation because I'm not putting a big case in the hold all. So I need to have a very small amount of liquids. This could be very useful for that. And so with this adorable mini lipstick, I mean, how cute is this? This, I say lipstick, this is the Dior Addict Lip Maximizer. Don't know what shade it is, but anyway, it looks like a very sort of neutralish shade that would work on most people, but isn't that adorable? And then one of their skincare tubes. So this has, I think, just 5 grams in. And the price on their skincare is phenomenal. So I still haven't bought any Dior skincare, and every time they send me a sample I want to go and buy some, and then I see the price and I stop, but I'm so tempted. And this one's called Dior Prestige Le Balm de Minuit. So I shall be trying this one out this evening. Again, Dior just always impressed me, they really do. I wish all brands were like Dior when it came to gifts, because they're such a pleasure to receive. So here we have the new 3 Glow Maximizers, and I don't think I have anything this deep, but I am going to show you the ones I do have that are darker. So this one is called Copper, and probably the closest one I've got in the collection is Bronze. So I will show you how these two look together, but obviously we're seeing a lot more warmth and red in the Copper. So I am hoping these will be glowy blushes, so that's exactly how I'll apply them, as I said at the start. So I'll just do a swatch here of Copper. This is such a pretty shade. So this one is Copper and this one is Bronze, and then blend it out. This is the difference between the two. So depth wise, I'd say they are the same. So if you're someone with a much deeper skin tone, these could be very good highlighters for you. And if you're somebody like me with a light skin tone, these just might work as a glowy blush. This one is obviously, being a bronze, is more of a bronze shade. And when I first tested these, I did actually try it as a bronze, but it's just way too glowy to use as a bronze. You have to use it as a bronzy blush, but it does work if that's what you want to do. It's just not a shade I particularly want to use as a blush. So that's probably the only one in the collection. I don't think I can really use that easily. But anyway, let's try Copper. So for today, I have my foundation on. I've powdered everywhere apart from the cheek area, so I can show you this going straight on top of the foundation. So this is cream on top of cream. And I'll probably be quite generous because I want it to be a blush. So I'm going to use my Refa LCO2. And now I'll start on the higher point. Well, that is definitely going to work. I can see straight away. These are so pretty. They blend out very easily. I wouldn't recommend putting them on both sides though. I do one side at a time. Otherwise you might find it starts to dry down a bit. They're not very tacky at all, but they're also not majorly drying. They're just sort of soft and smooth, but without having that tacky finish. That's definitely one that works, isn't it? So that is definitely a good glowy blush for me. I will build that up a bit more. So if I was wearing sort of a golden eyeshadow look, this could be really nice, or a very warm, something like the Natasha Denona Golden Palette, or anything that's in that sort of shade range. I think this would be really nice. This could be a very nice lightweight summer blush. Look how much that's building up. Look how much colour I'm getting. That is a lot of colour, isn't it? So obviously you have to like the glow, because this is very glowy, but at the same time it's not the sort of glowy that I think particularly emphasises lines. I think it's quite a mature skin friendly formula. I also find when I apply it on top of powder that it works very nicely. So it's a very adaptable formula. And as you saw, it's quite buildable and I can get quite a bit of pigment. So I do look a bit strange because I've got no colour whatsoever on my face. So I don't even have bronzing powder. I had a tiny bit of contour up here, but I haven't put any colour. So you are literally just seeing this as it is on its own. I would probably go in with a foundation brush and just tap up the edges to soften. But if you imagine eyeshadow now on, bronzer, and this is now the colour for my cheek. So this is a bit of a clash with my top. I'm going to be finishing with the more lilac and pink finish, which is why I'm wearing this. But it doesn't flatter the colour I'm wearing on my cheek. But I do think that this would work nicely with the right colour top and the right colour makeup. But certainly in answer to anyone's questions of are these a successful glowy blush on my sort of fair to light skin, absolutely. So this one is Copper. What do you think? So now I've seen what that can do. This is the shade I think people will be most interested in. This is Flame. So I'm pretty confident that this will do the same. So let me swatch Flame. I don't really have anything to compare this to from the range, but I'll just swatch the two side by side actually, so you can see the difference on my hand. So I'll put Copper and Flame together. So here is Flame. So we've got much more of a rich red in this one. And there is the Copper that I've just tried on. So if you have a very deep skin tone, this could be a very, very good option. I'm glad they're expanding their range so that they're really suiting everybody here. But again, this can be used in multiple ways, which is why I really love these products. So I'm hoping I haven't gone too mad by putting 3 dots, because of the way it shears out, I'm thinking it's probably just about right. I do think it's got a bit more pigment than the Copper, especially going by the way this is looking. This is looking like a lovely shade. I think I prefer it straight away to the Copper as a blush shade because it's got that more reddy finish. Obviously the Copper does, but this has a bit more, this looks more of a true blush on me actually. In fact, I really like that one. Oh, that is lovely, and it just melts into my skin quite naturally, and I think that is more of a natural flush. This one is less of a natural flush. Well, I wouldn't say natural, but it looks a bit less natural, I think, the copper. Like I said, please imagine this alongside the right colour, lips, eyes and top, because it does look quite odd with my pale skin in the background and then my lilac top. Definitely my favourite of the two, but can you see how this is just really soft and smooth, and it just gives a lovely finish without looking too shiny. It's like a healthy glow finish. I really do like these very much. I know I look quite bizarre at the moment, but anyway, I'm hoping this will help you to at least see what these might look like with the right makeup. The last one I'll try, like I said, will be with the right makeup. But anyway, this is Copper and this is Flame. Which one do you prefer? What do you think? So I'm going to now take everything off and put my foundation back on, and I'll powder. So I'm going to put a blush on, and I'm going to try the pink one, which is called Tutu. This is so pretty, by the way. Can't wait to show you this one. So I'll try that one with a powder blush. So I'll just go off camera and sort my face out for you. So I've taken all that off and I'm completely powdered down now. I haven't put my blush on because I just wanted to quickly show you it. So I recently reviewed the new Fenty Suede blushes. They launched new shimmer shades, but I haven't been able to get access to any of them in the UK. So I bought lots of them in matte formula and shimmer formula. So this is one of the originals and I haven't tried it yet. So this one is Petal Popping. So this is quite bright, but I'm hoping with careful application this will be okay. Super, super silky soft. This does have a little bit of a glow to it, but it's not the shimmer finish. So I'm hoping that the Luminizer I'm about to show you, which is the Tutu, will complement it. So there's the two together there. So I'll just take a little bit on my Refa brush. And there we go. Gentle application. I'm not getting too much on the brush, so that's really good. My experience with these blushes so far is they apply extremely easily. There's no patchiness, they blend out beautifully, and you can go in gently even with the really bright colours. Yesterday I tried the really deep sort of purpley lilac blush, which was the one I was excited to try but probably the most fearful of trying, and a light application of that really did work. So I can see this being a popular one. I would imagine if you were able to buy this in the US or elsewhere, which you have been able to for months, then I would imagine a lot of you pick this one up, because this is a shade that would suit just about everyone. Quite a natural petal pink, beautiful, lovely for the spring as well. So this is blended out beautifully. I don't like it as much as the shimmer finish. I know that straight away because I adore the shimmer finish. But when I want to add a highlighter, this is stunning. And obviously today I'm adding a highlighter, because obviously with the shimmer finish, I definitely do not add a highlighter. So there is Petal Popping. Just a very light application. I don't want too much on. I want to try and see this highlighter as well. So just wanted to show you that one. I'm trying to work my way through these blushes and sneak them in if I can to show you. So I'll just swatch the lighter pink alongside this Tutu shade. So you can see this is the original pink and here is the Tutu. Please excuse all my fingerprints all over the tops of these. So you can see straight away there's a huge difference in depth here. The pink is a very, very light pink. And here is Tutu. Isn't that beautiful? And blended out, here's Tutu. So it's still pretty light, which is why I said it's not a glowy blush and why I'll be using it as a highlighter. And here is pink. Now it could still be too deep for me as a highlighter. It is a bit of a strong pink, but that's the way I'm going to try it, just so we can see if it works. Because I think if you've got light skin, you might want to buy this thinking it works as a nice blush, but I have tried it prior to this video and it just doesn't. It sort of disappears. It doesn't give enough colour. And it might be a bit too pink for my skin tone to be a highlight. So it might actually be a bit of a fail for me, or it might be perfect. We'll have to wait and see. One pink in the range that launched with the very original shades, I believe, that definitely works on my skin tone as a glowy blush is Rosy. So if any of you didn't pick this one up, this is a very nice blush, glowy blush shade. So I'll just show you this one. This one does have a lot more pigment and blends out less. Well, you can just see the pigment that much more. You'll see what I mean. Just see how it shows up, just like with that copper and flame. So this one's rosy. So again, for deeper skin tones, a good highlight, but for me, a nice glowy blush. So we've got quite a few options now in the glowy blush range if you're buying them for that purpose. Obviously, I'm well aware that's not what they are. These are highlighters, but it's nice having multi-purpose makeup in our kit, isn't it? So I think because I've got powder on my face, I'm actually going to put Tutu onto the back of my hand and go in with a brush from there. So I'm going to use I'll use this brush, which I quite like for doing this with cream highlight. This is the A506 Angie Hot and Flashy, which is meant to be for concealer, but it's almost like a mini version of this sort of brush from Refa or the 109 from BK Beauty, and it's quite good for doing something like this. So I'm patting it in a bit so I'm not totally overloaded on the brush. And now I'm going to take it here. Oh, that is really pretty. You can see how sheer it is. It definitely works. It definitely works. It is definitely giving that pop of pink. And some of you may see that and think that is enough for a glowy blush. I just tried it and it just disappeared. But then I did try it when it was on top of foundation. Now it's going on top of powder, and anything that goes on top of powder tends to pop more. So that gives you an idea of how it looks on top of powder. Oh, it's really pretty. I'm so glad it worked because I love the colour. As soon as I saw the bottle, I've got to try that. It looks so pretty. And I love this formula, like I said. They could probably launch any colour and I will pick it up and try it because I love it. I can't really risk taking this down my nose, but anyway. I really like that. It sort of increased the pink pop on the top of my cheek. Oh, that is so pretty. And I think it works on fair skin, so don't be afraid to try this. You could, I think, now looking at it, use it as a blush, but it will be very fair. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could if you were going for a sort of no makeup day and you just want that natural slight flush. But I don't think it will show up too much. I've got it here rubbed into the back of my hand, just to remind you. It really doesn't have a lot of pigment, but the pink does show up. Isn't it gorgeous? It is lovely. That's got to be one of my favourite colours they've launched. It is so pretty. Oh, I really like that. And that definitely works with my top and my complexion. Now that suits me better, doesn't it, with everything I've got on today. And it's going to work hopefully with the eyeshadow. So there we go. I've shown you all three of the new shades from the Dior Liquid Maximizer. I absolutely love these. And I would love to hear from you what you think of all three. Have you got a favourite out of the three I've shown you today? Have you thought about picking one of these up? Are you already a fan? Do you have any in your collection? Whatever you've got to say, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. So now onto the Viseart palette. Now, this is a bit unfortunate telling you this in the review, but let's hope, if you do want it, that we can send a message to Viseart to let them know. The unfortunate news is this is out of stock and it might not be coming back. But it's not definite. But when this first launched, I'd just been told I'm on the PR list for Viseart, so I didn't buy it, and I said in my review I would buy it, but I might already have it on the way, so I'm just going to wait and see. I didn't get it, so I contacted them and asked them, is it going out in PR? Otherwise I really need to buy it. I just needed to know because I wanted to get it for myself, not just for the channel. And they replied saying this hadn't gone out in PR to anyone because they only had a very limited number of them altogether when they first launched. And when they go out of stock, they might not be coming back. So I immediately bought mine. I put a notice out on all of my socials and here on YouTube to let you all know. And I know a few of you picked it up because of that. So if you haven't got it and you want it, please do comment below and I will let Viseart know there's demand for it, because I'm guessing it's going to be as perfect as all of their matte palettes. So I always have in my top drawer one of the all matte palettes from Viseart. It's been a staple in my collection. This one's a bit bigger. And that one is the petite, it's the petite size, but anyway, the matte neutral. This is a lot warmer, but I still love it. And this is something I just dip in and out of. I love having all matte palettes like this that I can just dip in and out of, knowing that the formulas are super reliable, and sometimes you just need one or two shades. But recently I did a review using, I think I've got it here, the Dior Forever powder luminizers that just launched, all of these new shades. I picked up the pink strobe and I picked up the pink halo. I tried these on my cheeks and onto my eyes, and before I started that review I was already wearing mattes, and they were actually mattes from a Viseart palette. I think it was their Vespertine. It could have been the Vespertine, which has these sorts of shades. In fact, I'll just show you it side by side. Yes, the Violette Vespertine. So here is the Violette Vespertine, and here is this new one I'm showing you today, the all matte. So on that day I picked out a few of the matte only from this, and the reason I'm telling you that is I wanted to wear the highlight as my pop, my sort of topper shimmer, and I wanted reliable mattes in the background. So the first thing I thought of was this, but this one does have shimmers as well, so this isn't one I keep in my top drawer. I had to go and find it. Whereas this one will now live in my top drawer because this can be used for all sorts of looks like that. So the other one I've shown you, the warm one, that's for obviously warm looks, and this is going to be for cool tone looks. And we've got browns, and we've also got the sort of lilac-y shades as well. So this is going to work really, really well for nearly every, well, definitely for every cool look, it really will. So what I might actually do today is exactly the reason I'm buying this. I'm going to put this on as my shimmer. So I'll do an all matte look with this, and we'll see how that looks, and I'll put that on so you can see why it's useful to me. But something as well is I wouldn't just use this with, maybe today I might use 3 or 4 mattes to create this look, but sometimes I might just want a black liner, or I might just want a crease shade only, and I'll go for one of these sort of brownie shades, or I might just want an inner corner under brow shade. So lots of different options here. So I could be reaching for this for so many reasons, and that's why for me this was a must have, especially if you're cool toned. So I'm delighted with this. We don't have enough cool tone palettes, and I'm delighted to have these colours. The other cool tone palette which I keep in my collection also lives in my drawer here. This one is by Makeup by Mario, and this is the Cool Neutrals palette, the all matte, master mattes. And if I show you these side by side, you'll see why I had to get this one. So this is one I dip into all the time for exactly the same reasons, but we don't have the sort of lilac-y shades, so they are quite different. So between these two and the warm one, I now have everything I could possibly want, and they will all live here in my top drawer right next to me, so I could always reach for them. A vital addition to my kit. So I think a lot of people will think that, and Viseart might need to bring this back fast. So I think I will start today with this one here. And this one is called Adagio. This is described as a buff nude with a hint of lavender, cool and refined. Actually, should I go through a shade description of all of these just so you know? I won't swatch them, but you'll get to see them on the eyes. I think I'll give you the shade description, so feel free to skip ahead to me applying this, but just in case it's useful. We have Aurora, which is a white with a whisper of peach. Then we have Point, which is a cool light beige matte finish. Then we have Tool, which is a light peachy pink with a matte finish. Then we have Arabesque, which is a soft light pink purple, a delightfully pretty pirouette of purple. Then we have Pirouette, which is a light creamy beige with a soft pink undertone, perfect for pastel looks. This one is Pli, which is a dusty mauve, intriguingly soft and cool. This one is Adagio, the one I told you about I'm starting with, the buff nude with a hint of lavender, cool and refined. This one is Releve, I think there's an accent there on the E. Anyway, dusty purple grey, magically cool twilight tone. I love the look of this one. I might have to try that one today. And then we have this one, which is Ballet, a cool toned light taupe to buff and to blend. This one is Sutinu, which is a caramel, a warm tan brown. So this one's described as warm with a matte finish. And this one is called Fouet, I think, a muted beige taupe for elegiac elegance. And then we have shade 12, Tendu, which is a deep espresso brown with a matte finish. So that looks very black, but it's described as a brown, okay. It's a very, very dark brown. But it's not massively massively dark when you see it swatched. So that's actually going to be quite a perfect liner shade. I don't like it to be pitch black on me. Anyway, so let's get straight into the look. So I'm going to start here with Adagio. You do need to tap off a little bit with Viseart formulas. But one thing with their mattes, I can tell you from using them that there isn't a better matte formula on the market than Viseart. That's why I trust them so much. That's why I will blind buy Viseart formulas, Viseart releases, and that's why they live in my top drawer and get used all the time. And that's why this was a must-have. So this looks like a perfect shade for that sort of, if you weren't doing your makeup much, maybe a sort of no makeup day and you just want a little bit of a crease shade that isn't very obvious. It looks quite skin-like. That's a sort of perfect shade for that, and that's blending out so effortlessly. And taking my Wayne Goss number 6 brush, I'm going to go into this deeper shade here. This is the Releve, which is a dusty purple grey. And I'm going to start taking this into the outer V. See how they just instantly work together with such little effort. This is Viseart for you. Just look at that. There's no landing with a huge amount of pigment. It just softly applies, blends straight into the matte I've put in. They really are effortless. These also pop out, by the way, so if you collect Viseart palettes, you can create your own basically by popping them out and swapping them all around. You know what a lovely shade that is. I'm going to take this underneath, but not all the way. I'll stop there, so above and below are the same, and I might go in with a lighter one. I'm going to have a think about it. So just going back in now with the fluffy brush and adding nothing to it whatsoever, just going around the edges to soften a bit. I'm quite tempted to just try this light lilac because I just can't resist it. So I'm going to take a little bit on the tip of this number 6 Wayne Goss brush, described as a soft light pink purple, and I'm just going to take this slightly above, just to bring that pop of lilac and light purple just slightly above there. And also bringing it down, but not onto the lid at the moment. I might take it all over the mobile lid. I haven't decided what I'm doing with the mobile lid yet. We do have that topper to think about. But this would be a very good shade if you want to just brighten the lid now. So you could go in with this all over the lid and then line, and there's your matte look done. And then pop some clear shimmer, clear highlighter, or a lilac highlighter. But I'm going to be trying this pink highlight on today. So I think the shade I will go for all over the lid is this one, which has more of a pink in it. So this is Tulle, which is a light peachy pink. I'm using still quite fluffy brush, but more flat. This is actually from Delilah. And now I'm going to take this over the lid. Oh, that's really pretty together, isn't it? Just a lovely, soft, everyday sort of background base. That's how I see these palettes. I'm going to pop a little bit more of this deeper one, just back on top there where I think I might have gone over a tiny bit with that light pink. Notice when I'm applying that little bit extra, I'm using the side of this brush rather than the tip. This brush is so good when you want to be more, when you want to define a bit more. So if I want to make a neater line. But I haven't been very careful with the way that this is spilling out here, and there's a reason for that, because I want to test a shade in this to see if it has the capability. So I'm going to see, is this, I wanted to see if that's bright enough for the inner corner, but I don't think it is, so I think it would have to be these two. So I'm going to, I will go with this one. But I'd almost like a combination of the two. Maybe I should just do that. Tap them both. So this one here, white with a whisper of peach. So I'm mixing the two together. And then I'm going to pop that in my inner corner. For that perfect pop of brightness. And that is perfect. If you know me, you know I'm always dipping into my Tom Ford to get a shade that very much looks like this. It's a pinky white. That's what I'm thinking, mix the two together. So that's perfect for that inner corner. And what I want to do, actually I'll just do it under the brow as well. Probably a bit more white than pink for this bit. There's a bit of brightness there. So what I wanted to test out was whether I can clean up a little bit here using one of these two, which I often do with powders instead of concealers. But before I actually do the cleanup, I'm going to line using my Refa 23, and I'm going to try this very dark shade to see how this works as a liner. So at the moment, inner corner, under the brow covered, and obviously the base well and truly covered, nice cool tone base. So now is this going to be a good liner? Well, I did tap off, but I'm not getting any fallout, which often happens with these deep shades. That is a nice soft, it does feel like a soft black, but it's described as a dark brown, isn't it? But it is nice and soft, but it's given enough depth, so it's giving me exactly what I want. And taking it tight to the lash line. Perfect liner, perfect. I've got a feeling this is my favourite powder liner I've got. Now I've tried that, I think it is perfect. So I'll be dipping into this one a lot when I'm looking for that, if a palette I've got lacks it. And I so much prefer using powders to line over eyeliner pens. They're just quicker and just easier. Not that I don't love eyeliners, I do, but when I'm just looking for that quick an easy way to finish, I love to do this. But also this is a good way to set eyeliner as well, so if you can match the shade of eyeliner and powder, then go over your eyeliner with this to set it in place if you want that secure look. So very useful for both purposes really. I really love these colours together. And the shade I started with, I'm going to go back into the Buff Nude and just take this with the Wayne Goss number 6 and run this underneath. And now that test I said I wanted to do, so again I want it to be pinky but not as pink as that, so I'm going to mix them again together, which I think sort of creates my skin tone, and then I'm going to put it here. You'll probably see what I mean. It just gives you that sort of sharp edge without having to use a makeup wipe to clean anything off, and without having to use a concealer. See how much sharper it looks compared to that side? And definitely this works. So my Black Diamond palette has competition for this shade anyway. So I would leave that as a sort of everyday sort of look with the mascara, but obviously I said I use matte very much for this purpose when I just want to use a shimmer. So I'm going to use this highlighter as my shimmer today, which is the Pink Halo from Dior. And I really like this on the eyes. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? So now I'm going to pop this over that pink matte. So I'm going to get a little bit of shimmer. Oh, there we go. Very much optional whether you want to go for that shimmer or not. Well, that is perfect. I love that. So just take my fluffy brush and just blend this into the crease so it's all nicely blended together, and I'm done. So this palette is everything I wanted it to be. I already knew it would be, I had zero doubt. And I can do something very different if I use these tones. We've got a very slightly warmer section here, but it is predominantly cool. So I've predictably for me gone with the sort of lilac-y purples and the pinks, but certainly something very different here as well. So I'm going to dip in and out of this and use it all the time. And if I'm using it in a video, I will let you know and certainly link it so you know I'm using it. It isn't available, I know, which is, I do feel bad showing you this when it's not available, but I've literally just got it. So I wanted to show you why I got it and why it's so useful. And hopefully if you've got it, you found this helpful, but also hopefully if you want it, please do shout loudly and I will let Viseart know. So I'll just quickly go off and do my mascara. So I've gone in with mascara and that is the final look, and I am over the moon with this palette. I really am. can't say a bad word about it. It's just done every single thing I needed it to, so absolutely love it. Would love to hear your thoughts if you've picked this up. Have you been using it? Is it as useful to you as it absolutely is to me? And if you want to pick this up, do you need me to shout to Viseart? Because I think it should come back. So let's just finish my lips. So I used Tutu today to the new Luminizer on my cheeks. And I also have Tutu now in the Dior Addict range. This launched with the Nude and Roses, I think it was called, the Nude and Roses collection. I didn't get this. I wanted to get it. So when I bought Tutu, the Luminizer, I thought I'd just have to. So here is a little swatch of it on the back of my hand. I've got the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in Fair on, which is almost invisible because it's my lip colour. And I'll put this on. Oh, I really like that. A lovely, lovely everyday pink lipstick, isn't it? Which is perfect for that sort of nude range, which is the idea, isn't it? I know it's nude and roses, but it's very much the everyday shades. And this is a very much an everyday pink, quite a cool tone pink, so very fitting, I think, with this look. And nice to have it sort of matching with the cheek luminizer as well. So I really like that. Everything I've tried today has been fabulous. I can't complain about anything. So the Forever Glow Maximizers, which I was just calling Luminizers. I already knew I loved these formulas, but the highlight for me is Tutu, it has to be. But certainly if I'm going in for bronzy, golden, summery shades, I'm definitely going to be trying these as blushes. So very pleased I picked all of those up, and I will continue to add to that collection, as I said, every time they launch new shades. And this lip colour Tutu, very, very pretty, very much a perfect everyday pink. I love it actually, and very easy to apply without worrying about sort of spilling outside the lines. So I think this could be a great one to pop in my bag during spring especially, and just top up. Really, really nice. I'm so glad I got it now. And then obviously this from Viseart, absolutely fabulous. 10 out of 10 plus more. And yes, I did pick up the Violette here by accident, but you know what I mean. So one quick thing I just wanted to add in, and also I wanted to have a little chat with you about something. I had a request for swatch requests. I always get swatch requests, and I haven't got around to doing it. So I'm a little bit busy at the moment. So I thought, can I just sling it in at the end here, and I will notify whoever requested it to say that I've added it to this video. So the request I got was, can I compare the brown and gold from the new Tom Ford Olive palette? This is called the Olive Smoke, which is beautiful. Can I compare them to other one and dones I've got in my collection, and to the golden palette? So if you're the one who requested that, here it is for you. So these are the two from Tom Ford. So this is a brownie gold rather than actual brown, and here's the gold. And I've pulled out a couple of one and dones to do the comparison. I will explain after I've done this comparison what I wanted to talk to you about. So please, if you don't want to see this comparison, please bear with me, because there's something I would really love to ask all of my subscribers. I really do need your thoughts on something. So I've got this one from Sisley, which I've only very recently got my hands on. This one is Sparkling Topaz. So I'll do a swatch of that. There's Sparkling Topaz. Very similar in formula, but a lighter shade to this brown here. There's more of a gold in this one, I'd say. Then I've picked up the Chanel Brun Tulpa. This is the single shadow. So again, more of a smooth finish, I'd say, less shimmery and definitely a lot lighter. I've got the Dior Beige Mitza, this one. This one I'd say the formula is very, very similar. And here it is. So again, it's more of a true brown Beige Mitza. And you can see the difference there between the Dior Beige Mitza and the Brun Tulpa from Chanel. This formula is so much like the Tom Ford, which is very rich and creamy and beautiful actually. Then the other one I've picked up from Chanel is the Quartz Fume, I think it's called, or Fume. This is a satin finish, so it will be a bit different. It is quite similar in shade. So here is the Chanel. That's the closest, I'd say, to the Tom Ford Brownie Gold. So this one, again, the shade is called Quartz Fume. And you also asked me to compare it with the golden palette from Natasha Denona, so I'm only going to look at the ones that are slightly similar. So we have Varus, I think it's called, this one here. And then underneath that we have one called Aurum, which is a gold. So I'm going to swatch those two. So here they both are from Natasha Denona, and remember these are the two here from Tom Ford. So they are quite a close match, these two, aren't they? So you could already almost have those. But I will also swatch Alchemist from the Golden palette. That's definitely not a match, that one's too rich. So these two from Natasha Denona Golden palette are the closest match. So there we are, hopefully that's been helpful to you. So now just quickly onto what I wanted to ask you about. I keep getting messages from YouTube pushing me to open a membership for my subscribers, and I've always thought, is this something you'd like, and if I did, what would I do? So if you don't know about membership is when you subscribe and pay. I think I can set the fee, so it's only about a couple of pounds a month, something like that, and you become a member and then you get access to exclusive things. So I've always thought, what would I do that's exclusive, and can I even fit it into my schedule is the other thing, which is why I'm not even decided on this myself. But what I've thought for a long time is if I did do membership, I'd like it to be something that's very much led by the members. So my thoughts have always been sort of requests from you. But I was thinking today, doing this swatch, I get so many swatch requests to compare with things, but also to try them side by side and all sorts of things. So what I was thinking is if I did a membership well, not a channel, if I open up a membership for subscribers to opt into if they wanted to, if you wanted to, it could be something along the lines of a weekly video where I do swatch requests that have been sent to me by members only, and also do comparisons if you want me to specifically look at something again. So if, for instance, I review, say, the palette I've just reviewed now from Viseart, and you want me to repeat this look, but you want me to maybe repeat it all with a different shimmer, or you want me to repeat it using the warmer shades and use no shimmer or a different shimmer or something like that. So if there were requests for something like that coming in from members, then my video that week could be the requested look or the most requested look of the week, plus any swatch requests, something along those lines. I'm sort of getting ideas together, and I'm just wondering, is there any demand for that? So obviously I'd need a couple of members to want that for me to even think about trying it. So rather than just pushing it out and saying, right, this is happening, I just wanted to gather your thoughts really and see what you think. Is that something you would like to have as a membership here, or is it something that's just not interesting? I'm just wondering really, because like I said, I do get so many requests for these sorts of things, and maybe bunching them all together, and sometimes you'll see other people's requests and you think, oh, I didn't think about comparing those, and then it can be quite interesting. So I'm just wondering if that's something. So, and also if you've got any ideas to add to my current ideas, this is just a very much a thinking process. So any thoughts and ideas you've got would be very valuable to me, and I would really appreciate any feedback at all. So if you'd like to comment below with your thoughts or message me via my Instagram, I'm on han.beauty101 on Instagram. So you can message me there anytime, and I do always respond to messages, but obviously you can just pop a comment below as well, whichever's easier. So anyway, that was what I wanted to ask you. So if you're here at the end listening to all this, I'm very grateful you're still here, and I'm very grateful you've listened to my waffle about all of that. So anyway, that's the end of my review, and I do hope you have found this video helpful, and I would love to hear your thoughts on everything I've tried on today. If you have enjoyed this and you aren't subscribed, I would love it ever so much if you did. It's super helpful, and I really do hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye.